Hey guys, it's Cody Payne checking in with Zack Rutland of the supply chain team out of Dallas. What's up? What's up, Zack? What are you up to, man?
Hey, Cody. Doing great, man. How are you?
Good. It's a beautiful Sunday out here where I'm out at the farm, and so. But I wanted to get a quick update. I was actually talking to Michael earlier. We've got some really good increased activity over the past week just by them basically talking about Texas being unlocked in some aspects, right? And so investors from out of state see that and look at it as a real positive note. And so, we've had an increased activity over the past week just based on that alone. But what are you seeing and hearing on the industrial side, since y'all are so well connected with the businesses and the landlords?
For sure. So we actually had a call not yesterday, but Friday with Stacy McGee, who is here in Dallas. She's with Clarion. And she just has a great view of the market as a whole, Clarion being such a large institutional owner. So I figured I could just kind of touch on a few points that Stacy made, and we also had a few brokers from other regions on the call as well. So we just got a pretty good feel for how everybody's operating right now. And just to kind of give you a feel for that, Clarion is they're a huge owner, large landlord. And they told us that, they collected 80% of rent in April. So that's definitely down. I think they're normally in the very high 90s. So 80%, but that's still pretty good. Their new construction has slowed, but any projects that were, currently going, they did not stop. So they didn't halt any of their existing projects. And I will also say that, activity on the tenant side, it hasn't stopped completely for industrial because, as long as people still keep ordering, e-com is just driving everything for us right now. So we're also very, very lucky in that, a few of our tenant clients are large billion-dollar companies. And I can just tell you from an industrial side, we've gotten hired on probably half a dozen new projects during COVID. So I would say that, tenant activity, it's not stopping. I really feel for a lot of the retail guys because they're certainly getting it's a rough shake right now, but we're just very fortunate that our tenant clients, it's business as usual for them, really. I would say that the transactions themselves are moving at a slightly slower pace, but they're not stopping. So, and that's just a function of them having to work from home. You got large corporations with thousands of employees having to transition to working from home. The deals just take a little bit longer, but they haven't stopped. So very fortunate in that regard. But I think that you will continue seeing industrial power through this. And as e-com gets stronger, I think that industrial does nothing but go up. It's just, like I said, very, very fortunate that we play in this space.
No, and I agree with you. Anytime we bring up an industrial investment building, we always say it's like a tickle me Elmo back in 1998 at Christmas time. Those things just fly off the shelf. But what are you seeing on the tenant side? Is there any difference that y'all are advising tenants when you're doing the tenant rep on lease renewals or expansions? Has that changed at all much?
So I'll touch on rates for a moment. So that's a question we get often is, what are you seeing from landlords? Are they softening? Are they willing to budge rate wise? And so far, I would say not so much. I think that landlords are kind of still holding the line on rates, but they are offering more concessions. So that's kind of the line right now. Rates are still holding firm, but their landlords are more willing to give some concessions. So perhaps an extra couple months of free rent is kind of what we're seeing. Rates stay the same, free rent gets a little boost. So as of now, they're not really softening on the rate side. But yeah, they are offering concessions to kind of help companies get through this, at least in the interim.
Well, and yeah, I think we kind of see that as well. But on the investment sales side, I know a couple deals that we sold, they were office, and a couple tenants were struggling, and so the ones that could get SBA loans, we encouraged to go out and do that. The ones that didn't, that needed a little more assistance, we had to work something out temporarily with them on the rent side. But no coronavirus discount over here. We do have people that call in from out of state and everything, and they say, "Hey, where's the coronavirus discount?" And I say, that's if you're not using the supply chain team or the Texas office team, it's your broker, your discount broker. We're not discount agents over here, so give them a shout.
Right.
But no, man, I appreciate you giving me your time on Sunday though. So. What, y'all just kicking it at the house, walking the dog?
Yeah, man, we got this golden retriever puppy over here, so he's keeping us busy for sure. So we'll go on a few walks. And I mean, before we hop off, one other thing I'll add is, a very common theme right now is just rent relief and having these tenants go to their landlords or us going to their landlords on their behalf and asking for some abated rent. And it's just not quite that easy. What we've seen is landlords are really they have a very thorough process. These tenants essentially have to write up a business plan and tell the landlord why they need the money, what they're going to do with the abated rent, and really make a case for it. So at the beginning of this, it was, hey man, let's just go ask the landlords for some help, and that eventually kind of turned into, well, the amount of work that you have to go through to get these rent relief is just a little more complicated than we initially thought. So it's just not quite as easy as saying, hey, throw me a bone. There's actually a pretty lengthy process these tenants are having to go through. So it's not as simple as initially seemed, but we're hopeful. I think we come out of this, and hopefully the next couple months, and everybody can get back on track.
Yeah, I believe so. I've already, like I said, over the past week, we've already started to see a slight uptick in even more people who are interested in office and industrial. A lot of people are looking for that small bay flex right now, or big box industrial. That's the stuff that's the hardest to find with the most competition, but that's one thing that we like working. So, but no, man, appreciate your Sunday check-in with me, and I'll let you get back.